financially behind often isn't about your reality. It's about what you're comparing yourself to.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.
We are excited to welcome you to episode 743 of Life's Inside Track. And I'm Yetta Dekker.
And I'm Ken Dekker.
And it's where we get to share techniques, thoughts, tips, tools, tactics, and truths that we all need, we all deserve. You, I, everyone, so we can turn our house into home, our families thrive, and we build wealth wisely through real estate. Comparison trap.
Yeah, the comparison trap is real. Like we used to call it comparing to the Joneses, right? Next door or whatever. But it's amplified 1,000 times with social media. Because what do we see? People on trips, people with their new car, people with their eating at fancy restaurants, getting their Starbucks, taking pictures. Like it's
getting a puppuccino.
A puppuccino for their puppy. It is constant that we're barraged with, this is the lifestyle that means you're making it. And it might be, but it's also probably a lie. Well, most of that lifestyle, come on, hear me out.
Okay. I was going to argue on your behalf right now because you may be somebody that loves Starbucks. You may be somebody that gets to take great vacations and you have your finances all in order to allow you to do it. So you're saying, whoa, Ken, so I did it for you.
And let me say, there is nothing wrong with having a great lifestyle. But what is wrong is comparison. Theodore Roosevelt said, comparison is the thief of joy. So if I'm on a path of building wealth with great determination, and I'm what we call delayed gratification, right? The marshmallow thing with the kids, I'm delaying my gratification of going on vacations, of having a brand new car, of doing these things, because I'm putting my money where you can't see it, which is in my house, or in my investment properties, or in my wealth building portfolio, or my RSPs, or my TFSAs, or all that kind of stuff, right? That's the silent growth area that doesn't show as wealth. And if you'd like a book on that, Millionaire Next Door, right?
Is an amazing book on that.
And it's simple. It just stated, what millionaires, most of them drove used cars, North American cars. They didn't drive the fancy European cars. They did all kinds of things. Their wealth was in their home. And they obviously weren't renting either.
No, they weren't. And so what we're really wanting for you to think about is you may be feeling broke. And yet if you're using a different measuring device, if you're measuring different things, not just what we can visually see, which is really hard to avoid.
Yeah, because measuring progress against visual lifestyle markers is very easy, right? Like the car you're driving around in, it was new. It was.
And now, I was so angry that it was new.
Yeah.
And I didn't want a new car because I like buying used cars because somebody else took the 20 or 30 or 40% depreciation. So when he surprised me with a new car, I was horrified.
I couldn't find that car in a used car at any kind of depreciation. So I figured I might as well buy a new one. Now that's 14 years, coming up on 14 years in a couple months.
In a month, yep. And I've said 100 times or more, we're going to drive that thing until the wheels fall off. Now,
and we're close.
And we're close, yeah. And it's not that we're not keeping it as safe as we can. And it just makes sense to me not to spend a lot of money on cars because I'd rather use my money to make my money work for me rather than me needing to go to work for more money to pay for a car.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one little example. Does it look as nice as it did? No. With the Dekker stripe on it, you don't notice too much, but I have had to replace parts of the Dekker stripe several times because it's peeled off. That's how old it is. So we just get caught. And maybe you can see yourself as I'm sharing this, or we're sharing this one little story where you think you're doing worse than you are because you're measuring what you can see in other people's lives versus what you can see in your own. What you can't see is their actual net worth statement. And not that you need to compare to theirs, you just need to look at yours rather than looking at somebody else's. I know a lot of our pressure was alleviated when we did two things. Once we stopped living beyond our means, that was number one, which we couldn't do until we started tithing, which we couldn't start saving until we started tithing. So it was a journey and a process, but certainly it started with not spending more than we were making. I think it's $1.71 now, the last stats that I looked at.
$1.77, I think.
Okay, well, whether it's 171 or 177, it matters not. For every dollar we earn as Canadians on average, they're spending, we'll call it $1.77.
Their debt. It's not their spending, their debt. Their household debt compared to their income is 1.77 times their income. And that's on average. So the mortgage broker that we were talking to just the other day, he said the scary part is there's many Canadians that don't have debt. And so that number is way worse for many Canadians. The other thing he said is there's this trap where people think, oh, my mortgage is low. It's only $200,000, $300,000. But then when he asks them about their financial situation, they have $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 on a line of credit, but they don't think that's a mortgage. Well, it certainly is, and it's just a slightly higher interest rate.
Right, because if it's registered against your house, it's a mortgage, whatever you want to call it. It may be a different loan product, and it still equals mortgage, except you don't ever have to pay it off. So that's a scary thought.
And sometimes the headlines, the conversations that are going on around you, they amplify the urgency, and you might start feeling like behind, that you're too far behind, that you haven't made solid moves, there's not enough time to make the right moves, that kind of thing. If you're feeling that kind of tension right now, then it'd be a great idea to go on our website at dekkerteam.com and just click on the Clarity Call button. It's free. It's 15 minutes. Sometimes we run a little bit over, but we don't charge you for it because it's free, whether it's 15 minutes or 17 minutes or 19 minutes. Doesn't matter. We want to help you to get to the next step. The next step might be an in-person consultation. It may be just to talk to a mortgage broker. It may be to change your lifestyle a little bit.
It may be just to fill in your net worth statement. It may be just to do a budget. And those are all available through our website as well, right? You can get the forms, you can look at them, and we can certainly guide you to what to measure so that you're measuring the right things. Often people have been concerned in this current market that they bought at the height of the market, and therefore they're further behind than they would like to be.
That's true.
Right? And what we do know, though, again and again, the statistics for real estate over time, although there are some fluctuations, a home is worth multiple times more than it was 20 years ago or 30 years ago or 40 years ago. So getting in is a better marker than what I paid when I got in, as long as I can make my payments.
Yeah, it's that long-term thing. That's what Canadian Real Estate Association says, is that over the long haul, over decades, despite short-term fluctuations, the growth is there, and it just reinforces that importance of the timing to get in as soon as you can. And we're glad that you're here because we love helping people build wealth wisely through real estate.
And in the next segment, we're going to look at, once you step out of the comparison trap and looking at lifestyle markers, what markers are you going to look at? We've given a few clues, and there's more coming in segment B.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together.